Thank you all so much for joining today. This is the Changing America's 2025 Virtual Awards Ceremony. I am your host today, and I am joined by Julia Burzon, who's running point at Circle Gallery. So, just a few words on the MFA and what it is we do. So, the MFA is a visual arts nonprofit organization. We host more than 40 exhibitions every year. Our main mission is to make connections in the local and online communities through art with exhibits and events in Circle Gallery in Annapolis, Maryland, online and in numerous alternative venues. We provide artists of all genres, media, and background with the opportunity to exhibit work selected by professionally credentialed jurors and to be recognized with monetary awards. Artists do not have to be members to enter our exhibitions. However, members do have several advantages, such as lesser entry fees, access to networking, and additional exhibition opportunities. If you're interested in learning more and just joining and becoming a member, please visit our website. We have a membership page that lists all this in great detail. So, a few words on the exhibition. Changing Americas is if you all have been with us for some time, you know that it was American Landscapes, and then we changed it to the Changing Americas, kind of to capture a different essence through the exhibition. So basically, from wind sculpted coastlines to cloud piercing mountain ranges, the Americas offer some of the planet's most powerful and varied terrains. However, these environments are forever in motion, reshaped by urban growth, ecological restoration, and natural disasters, and a warming climate. This exhibition invited artists to explore this continual transformation, celebrating the landscape's beauty, complexity, and vulnerability across North America, Hawaii, Central America, the Korean, and South America. Through this exhibition, we wanted people to have their work, we want you to let your work reveal the places that anchor your life, the changes you welcome, and the unintended consequences that you may witness. Any 2D or 3D work in any media that followed our exhibition guidelines was considered for this exhibition, and works are going to be on display from August 27th to September 20th, and we will be having a closing reception on the 20th, and I hope that you can join. So a few words on our juror. Mitchell Joachim is the co-founder of Terreform 1 and a professor of practice at NYU. In his full bio and statement will be on the website, but these are just some points from his bio. He's an architect, educator, and nonprofit leader. As a co-founder of Terreform One, a New York City-based nonprofit for ecological design. He's a full professor of practice and co-director of global design at NYU and program chair of the Norman Foster Foundation. He previously worked with Frank Gehry, Moshe Sadi, and IMP. He's a recognized innovator. He's a recipient of major honors, including an NEA grant, Fulbright Scholarship, a Lafarge Holcomb Prize, the Red Dot Award, the Architizer A+, and Time Magazine Best Invention with MIT Smart Cities. He was named in Rolling Stone's 100 People, Changing America, and Wired's Smart List. He's also an author and a thought leader. He co-authored 4 influential books on ecological and biotech design, and is featured in global exhibitions including MoMA, Mass MoCA, Seoul Biennial, and the Venice Biennial. In his academic and professional background, he's earned advanced degrees from MIT, a PhD, Harvard, Columbia, Buffalo, and has taught at leading institutions including Pratt, Columbia, Cornell, and Syracuse. So at this point, I'm going to invite Mitch to say some words. He mentioned that he has some connectivity issues, so if it breaks up, please bear with us. But Mitch, at this time, if you wanna hop on and say some words.
I'll put my video back on once I get reception. I'm in the mountains, which I believe many of the artists here also celebrate and love the spectacle of nature that America provides us, and that is exactly what I'm doing with my family. So doing my best to find some Wi-Fi to have a bit of a discussion. But in general, the art that I had a chance and the honor to review, I thought for the most part was, well, many of them ranged from the obdurate to spectacular. And I thought that there was no really terrible submission. I think everyone was absolutely earnest and genuine in their approach, and it is extraordinarily difficult to make any decision on these kinds of work due to the subjectivity. So I'll give my 2 cents, but by no means should that create a sense of dispassion from those who did not receive any kind of an honor. Not that everyone gets a participation.
Okay.
I'm not saying that either. I am just simply saying that I would expect there to also be other layers to the judgment and other folks to chime in and give their opinions and then build a consensus on who might be the best overall. So without any other voices to have a dialogue with, I was left kind of alone on that front. And I think the organizers did a great job kind of funneling the work to me. And the I think the curation of the exhibit is also as best as it can be. And I really appreciate all the hard work that goes on in the background to make something like this possible. So that's me saying a lot. I think I am back. Just a quick note on background also. My father, who passed away, a veteran of the Korean War, was a for most of his life. So I was in that rarefied environment of living most of my life, going from museums to galleries and hearing his comments on works. And my sister, older sister, studied fine art and is also a painter. And still to this day, we argue about what's good, what's bad, what's ugly. So I do have a lot of thoughts on those things and grew up in that sort of that filter of reason. Phenomenal sort of sky, just a lot of almost non-space. A lot of the real estate here was just taken up by the kind of the epic proportion of a storm. And with climate change being a constant issue that Americans have a problem with believing or not believing, it's a fact of science. I think awarding it to pieces that show the nature as the most leveraged element in a work, to me, was probably more important than other topics. Also, similar, same sort of vein. Again, the kind of the vastness of these pieces of infrastructure. It's very hard to capture something that's been built and engineered to hold massive amounts of water, and yet is just constantly in a perpetual state of drought with no capability to adapt to any form of resilience. So again, these kinds of works represent that. Yeah, like the sort of the highlight of the kind of the I don't want to say rust, but the depreciation and the sort of disappearance of the settlements built by humans, and then nature itself becomes this kind of also void, which is in even a greater state of disturbance than these dilapidated barn structures. Also, similar vein, the kind of the I'm not a pessimist, but this also seems to be this kind of state of decay and ruin, and then the idea that we should kind of focus or think about like what exactly is merging here, and the difference between the kind of this collage of I don't know, the threshold of a door, and then this kind of imposition or juxtaposition of a landscape through and around. It's a very also powerful image, very axial. Yeah, and then a set of these that are just ironic and evoke the opposite of what's being declared the semiotic on that sign. Could be joy to some, and probably banal and quoted stuff. Disarm me in that respect, and very subtle. Next, more on this idea of this very hard to envision a future the way things are going. I think this is a kind of a reflection of our current zeitgeist. We're moving towards this kind of this end. And yes, that is also a very kind of a narrow, if not a focused vision on the dystopic. And so a lot of them, in my opinion, I felt like that at this time, at this point in our lives, with this kind of administration, I feel like these kinds of works need to be something that the public can fight against or rally for. Also, similar vein, and enjoy the textural implication that's overlaid on the kind of the photographic. Just kind of delightful. I like the fact we just have it's not Autobahn, but turkeys, are they in the wild? What is this kind of the hint of a structured sunlight coming through? The trees themselves become a sort of architecture, and all of it is really celebrates this particular animal in a very in almost a typical way, but I appreciate it for its everydayness. This evokes things like there's so many floods, the fires in Los Angeles to Katrina, the amount of climatic events where people just doing everything they can to survive and live, and the idea that the next one is coming and will come. Hurricane Sandy, this I think should map again what our kind of collective thoughts are when it comes to how we dwell in this country, which is you can expect the emergency. We're here, Fahrenheit 451, and a storm of other novels. I mean, all of this to me is just it's the new norm.
Okay, I think that is the end of the awards. Thank you so much for your comments. So this is just all the awards laid out in one place. Of course, it will be listed on our website, and when we upload to YouTube, they'll be listed there as well. And the next slide is a collage of the works. It's not all the works in the show, but it's a lot of them. Um, yeah, just to kind of give you a better sense of how the exhibition came together. Um, and then lastly, we have, Q&A or comments. I think at this point, I'm just gonna say thank you all so much for joining. Thank you so much, Mitch. Even though you're busy and doing things and running around, you made time for us, so we really do appreciate it. And just from from the initial time that we spoke a couple months ago, you've been a really supreme professional. Just been a joy to work with you, and you curated a really wonderful show. So we want to thank you for that. I want to thank all the artists who applied, who didn't get in, who maybe got in or didn't get an award. These things, like he mentioned earlier, it's so many strong pieces and so much good work to choose from that really don't be discouraged if you didn't win an award or you didn't get into this show. Just keep trying. So, but I think at this point we're gonna call it a day. Let you guys go enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you all again so much for making time and joining, and I'll see you all around. So take
Thank
care,
you.
everyone.